Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Zareen on behalf of Girls Rajik, and today we are going to talk about menstrual health or menstrual hygiene in this session. And for that, we have with us Faiza Rehman, who is a researcher in menstruation and Islamic culture. She is pursuing her PhD in Atlanta, US, and her dissertation topic is on menstrual rituals in Muslim households. Faiza, before we start, would you like to tell us about
Thank you, Zareen. I'm very happy to join you today for this session. My dissertation is, in fact, on the aspects of menstruation in Islamic cultures. That is, I focus on how Muslim women, particularly in Pakistan, create knowledge about menstruation using Islamic texts, the fiqh literature, and the piety manuals that are available. So I look at how women in their everyday life, they create an independent space in which they talk and discuss about menstruation, and how that space and that knowledge contrasts with the canonical literature on menstruation available in Islamic texts.
I'm happy that someone is working on this. Let us start with our questions. Please tell us about menstruation, or commonly called periods. What should we know about it and why?
Telling about periods would make little sense because all of us know what it is. The problem that we encounter is that there is no discussion around it. या इसकी जो research aspects हैं उस पे बात नहीं होती, इसके जो medical aspects हैं इस पे बात नहीं होती, social और cultural aspects पे बात नहीं होती. Before we proceed, I just want to say this, Zareen, ke we talk about how there is a taboo on menstruation, और ये taboo जो है हमारे लिए disadvantages है, ये हमें बहुत सारे disadvantages देता है as women. लेकिन इस taboo को fight करने का मकसद ये नहीं है कि हम हर जगह in front of everyone without taking care of professional or unprofessional circumstances, we suddenly start talking about it all the time in an unbridled way. That is not our purpose. That's not what we're advocating. What we're advocating is कि जहाँ ज़रूरत है तहकीक के दायरे में, मेडिकलाइजेशन के दायरे में, सोशल कल्चरल इशू के तौर पे वहाँ तो कम से कम मेंस्ट्रुएशन के बारे में बात हो. Now, as far as menstruation is concerned, it is much more than something that happens to women. Women experience this and it causes them to lag behind in life. मैं statistics देख रही थी, UNICEF की 2019 की report है in which it was something like, I don't remember it right now because it's not in front of me, but it was something like, around 70% women of the lower strata of Pakistan miss out on schools, miss out on going to schools. By women, I actually mean girls who are, teenage girls who are new menstruators, because they don't have access to affordable menstrual care products. So, if you ask me to tell you about menstruation, I will tell you that it is today a social issue in our society. It is much more than a monthly bleeding that happens to women. उससे बढ़ के ये एक बहुत बड़ा मसला बन गया है. ये एक मसला बन गया है about women functioning with dignity in their everyday life, and we need to make an avenue कि हम menstruation या hairs के बारे में एक पुरवकार तरीके से, एक dignified तरीके से बात कर सकें उन avenues में जहाँ ज़रूरत.
Menstrual health or menstrual hygiene, what are the implications?
Okay, that's a great question. देखिए, there are I just want to say also that I am no medical expert, but through my research I have I've had to explore a lot of medical literature around menstruation also. कुछ infections या disorders जो आपको हो सकते हैं, that includes many things like uterine fibroids, hormonal imbalances, clotting disorders, amenorrhea, fibroids, premenstrual syndrome, premenstrual dysphonic disorder. ये सारे menstrual disorders हैं जो कि आप, if you don't take care of your menstrual hygiene, अगर आप regularly change नहीं करते अपना sanitary अपना menstrual pad, या if you don't wash properly, they can cause all these issues. दूसरा ये कि from vaginal infections to uterine infections, जो कि exacerbate होके they can go on to affect many things, including complications and exacerbations of bad menstrual hygiene can cause a lot of these disorders. Now, what I want to also highlight here कि the problem is often कि menstruation को जो है वो एक hygiene का मसला समझा जाता है या एक sanitation का मसला समझा जाता है, and often a lot of the literature in Pakistan on menstruation is around sanitation and hygiene. Menstruation जो है वो इससे बहुत बढ़ की एक चीज है, एक कल्चरल फिनोमिनन है, ठीक है, वो एक ऐसी चीज है जिससे because I'm a researcher of Islamic studies, there are so many things that change in women's life when they are menstruating. हर चीज यहाँ तक कि marriage rituals change, तलाक की जो वो शिक़ें हैं वो बदल जाती हैं, हज का तरीका बदल जाता है, नमाज रोजा हर चीज, everything changes with menstruation. So it's a very important cultural and religious phenomenon. अगर आप सिर्फ इसकी यहाँ तक बात करें कि इसको कैसे मैनेज किया जाए या इसको कैसे सैनिटाइज किया जाए, that's not enough. You have to talk about it in a cultural and social dimension.
इसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो मुझे खुद भी नहीं पता, जैसे कि इस्लामिक उसमें देखा जाता है, आपने कहा कि लाइक तलाक के उसमें और बहुत सारी चीज़ें उस तरह से इम्पैक्ट होती है if the woman is menstruating, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, really interesting to know. And what are the menstruation practices that you think are malpractices and should be avoided, or आप ये कह सकते हैं myths वगैरह जो होती हैं?
देखिए हमारा जो region है South Asia, इसमें we have a very unique culture in which there is a lot of syncretic exchange with Hinduism and the Jain religion and Zoroastrianism and many different religions. So in सारे religion, हर religion का अपना अपना taboo है around menstruation, and that is something that I've had to study also alongside my research. तो मैंने ये notice किया है कि there is a lot of like the Hindu associated taboos, Hindu associated cultural prohibitions, वो भी आ गई हैं हमारे households के अंदर. जैसे कि एक बहुत common practice जो है वो ये, in fact a lot of us have experienced this, कि जब आपको hairs हो रहा हो, when you are menstruating, you should not take a bath. Okay. The other practice is कि you should not touch food, or you should not mobility, घर के अंदर ही जो है वो mobility बहुत सारी ख़वातीन की limited हो जाती है, because they are said to not move freely around in the house lest they come into contact with food items or men around them. ये दोनों बातें डेंजरस इसलिए क्योंकि जैसे कि अभी हमने डिस्कस किया, मेंस्ट्रुएशन के दौर में हाइजीन का खास ख्याल रखना चाहिए. सो यू हैव टू डेफिनेटली मेक श्योर दैट यू आर बेथिंग एंड वॉशिंग रेगुलरली टू प्रिवेंट इन्फेक्शंस. दूसरी बात ये है, ऑन द अदर नोट, आप अपने आप को किचन से दूर रखेंगी, आप अपने आप को डिफरेंट फूड आइटम्स से दूर रखेंगी, इट्स गोइंग टू अफेक्ट योर न्यूट्रिशन. एंड व्हेन यू आर ब्लीडिंग, your body is undergoing an entire hormonal process, an entire cycle. You need to eat on time, you need to have a very balanced diet, specifically in that duration, so that it keeps you away from eating properly, eating a variety of different kinds of food. So this is a practice that is disadvantageous. दूसरा ये कि जैसे हमने पहले भी डिस्कस किया था, कुछ geographical locations में menstrual huts होते हैं जहाँ पे segregate किया जाता है ख़वातीन को. That is also somewhat contentious practice, because it keeps women away from accessing resources. Even though there's another side to it, because more ज़्यादा agency मिल जाती है ख़वातीन को जब वो एक अलग जगह पे होती हैं. There's another side to the menstrual hut phenomenon also. The third practice that I would like to talk about, which can be dangerous for working women, especially women जिनके पास इतना time नहीं होता कि वो washing कर सकें या frequently change कर सकते हैं. कपड़ा यूज करना for menstruation, वो उस वक्त शायद possible है जब आप जो है उसको बहुत intense frequency से wash कर सकें और change कर सकें. Maybe then that is how our mothers and grandmothers used to proceed. लेकिन you know, in our life, you know, if you're going to college, if you're going to university, या आप एक housewife हैं जो कि बहुत busy रहती हैं, आप अगर कपड़ा use करती हैं for a good 6-8 hours, so you know your blood stays on the surface and your vulva is constantly in contact with that blood, and it might not be dangerous, it might cause infections to you. So that is a practice that we should think about, you know, maybe using sanitary pads or other options might be useful.
All right. But जहाँ पे access नहीं है sanitary pads के लिए, तो वहाँ पे of course they should just take care of the hygiene, right? I mean, like time से change करना, धोना कपड़े को अच्छे से धोना, and sun dry करना, या फिर heat देना जिससे like it can kill the germs, and yeah. So
जी बिल्कुल आप सही कह रही हैं. Sun drying is a very good procedure.
do you think ironing or something that can be also?
I agree. हाँ बिल्कुल सही कह रही है. देखिए because heat जो है वो you know pathogens और bacteria को kill कर सकती है. So yeah, I think that's a good option. अगर आप कपड़ा use कर रही हैं, अगर आपके पास नहीं है sanitary pad का access, तो you should, if you when you dry your clothes, you should maybe iron it before you use it. That's a great advice.
And just make sure कि वो कपड़ा भी change हो रहा हो बार बार, like not that you're using it for months, and you know, so yeah.
कॉटन का कपड़ा यूज करें ताकि वो एयरी हो, ताकि यू नो एयर थोड़ी बहुत एयर सर्कुलेशन हो. सिंथेटिक फैब्रिक्स अगर आप यूज करिए उनको अवॉइड करें. दैट माइट नॉट बी
And
वेरी
for
हेल्पफुल.
young girls at the age of 12 to 13, what preparation is required for them to be menstruation ready? Or even कुछ लड़कियों को तो like उससे पहले भी like periods आते हैं, even before they are like 11 or 12. So उनको mentally किस तरह से prepare किया जाए? They should, like, parents should talk, or how to?
बहुत अच्छा सवाल किया आपने. देखिए ये दिस इज सच अ बिग प्रॉब्लम इन आवर सोसाइटी. वही बात जो अभी मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले की कि एक डिग्निफाइड और पुरवकार अंदाज से मेंस्ट्रुएशन के बारे में बताना बहुत जरूरी है. माओं को जरूरी है दैट बिफोर, इससे पहले कि आपकी बेटी या आपका यू नो आपकी यू नो योर आपका बच्चा जो है वो कहीं और से इंफॉर्मेशन सीखे, कहीं और से कोई बहुत प्रॉब्लमैटिक या डेंजरस बात सीख ले अबाउट मेंस्ट्रुएशन, आप पहले ही इंटरवीन कर ले. आप उसको पहले ही बता दें, हर वो हेल्दी इंफॉर्मेशन दे दें जिसकी जरूरत है. यू शुड एजुकेट योर डॉटर्स दैट इट्स अ प्रोसेस दैट हैपेंस. और बिल्कुल उसको इस तरह बताने की जरूरत नहीं है दैट दिस इज द स्टार्ट ऑफ वुमनहुड, या इसके बाद जो है वो आप लड़की से औरत बन जाएंगी. यू नो बिकॉज oftentimes girls get their menstruation at age 9 and they are still kids. अगर आप ये बात इंस्टिल कर देंगी, हमारे माशरे में होता है कि आप औरत बन जाते हैं, then you are, you know, stealing away the childhood. And you know, this is a huge problem with raising girls, that they are made to become adults very quickly as opposed to boys, जिन्हें जो है एक full childhood जो है वो मिलती है, और लड़कियों को बहुत जल्दी बड़ा कर दिया जाता है हमारे माशरे में. And then they are, you know, so many prohibitions come कि अब आप भाग नहीं सकती, अब आप खेल नहीं सकती. Menstruation के बाद ये सारी चीजें आप कर सकती हैं. आप if the girl is 9 years old and if she has gotten a bleeding, she can still play, she can be out on the streets, she can do everything. ये सब चीजें अगर आपकी अगर एक लड़की को, एक बच्ची को 9 years या 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 की एज में menstruation आता है, you should not discourage her from being a child, you know, to being her age. दूसरी चीज ये कि as I said, पहले से बता देना चाहिए, थोड़ा बहुत you should give information कि ये होता है, and it's a normal process, it's a biological process and everyone has it and it's nothing to be ashamed of. मैं जानती हूँ कि a lot of times लड़कियों को जब पता नहीं होता, when they get their first blood, they get very traumatized by it. ये हम भूल जाते हैं कि to see blood coming out of your body without knowing the reason of it, it can actually be very damaging for your mental health अगर आप कोई preparation नहीं हो. So yeah, a little bit of information in a, you know, dignified and balanced way should be given to girls.
I found that very important, that जो आपने कहा कि जब when the girl starts menstruating, so उसको उसी की age की तरह treat किया जाए, not any differently, that you know, oh, you have actually become a grown up woman और उसको उस तरह से अपना like attitude उसकी तरफ change करे. So she shouldn't be feeling any different. It's just a normal biological process और उस तरह से उसको यहाँ treat करना चाहिए. And Faiza, do you think that men should also know about menstruation and why?
Absolutely.
Should
मैं यही इस पे सोच रही थी जब हम ये सेशन करने वाले थे तो कल ही बैठ के मैं सोच रही थी कि हमारा मसला ये कि निस्वानियत और औरतों की जिस्म से रिलेटेड हर चीज को इतना सेक्सुअलाइज कर दिया जाता है बेजा तौर पे सेक्सुअलाइज कर दिया जाता है मेंस्ट्रुएशन जो है वो it's so sexualized, it is thought to be something अब इस पे डिस्कशन बहुत लंबी हो जाएगी but yes men should know about it and they should know that it's not something that reveals a woman's sexuality ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है it's just a biological process it's not necessarily हम जानते हैं पाकिस्तान जो है वो खासतौर पे रमजान के महीने में बहुत सारे jokes का सामना करना पड़ता है even when women are not menstruating in their home they have to pretend that they even when women are menstruating they have to pretend that they're not menstruating and they have to keep eating क्योंकि इतना intensely उन्हें छुपाना होता है ये चीज कि it's just bizarre or and again it's disadvantages because अगर वो नहीं खा रही है during menstruation if she's not eating properly hiding the fact pretending to be on a fast that is not good for her health because she needs to be eating properly while she is menstruating so men should keep an open mind about this and saying keep an open mind is easier said than done आप पूरा मसला बॉयल कर जाता है ऑन बीइंग रिस्पेक्टफुल ऑफ वुमेन हर चीज सेक्सुअलाइज मत करें औरत जो है वो शी इज नॉट जस्ट अ सेक्सुअल क्रीचर यू डोंट हैव टू शेम एवरीथिंग एसोसिएटेड विद हर I know women who go to the offices during Ramzan और उनसे उनके मेल कॉलीग्स पूछते हैं कि अच्छा आप पूरे रोजे रखती हैं अच्छा तो क्यों नहीं रखती पूरे रोजे in a like a jocular way making fun of the fact that she menstruates ये सब मत किया करें this is not right it traumatizes women it shames them it makes it difficult for them to function be a little kind that's what I request men just be kind be thoughtful be considerate and give respect that's it
yeah and also I mean that like during menstruation like hormonal kitni changes hoti hain and you go through a lot already like the term PMS और जिस तरह casually उसको use किया जाता है at times उसको बहुत negatively भी use किया जाता है if a woman is like angry at something or upset and they would just pass a comment are you PMSing or like लेकिन फिर कुछ environments में उनको पता भी नहीं होता कि PMS is a real thing right I mean that they can have mood swings they do their body is going through a lot so वो मतलब आपके attitude में या फिर आपका वो जो like pre-menstrual days होते हैं उसमें वो it shows so yes the men should be very kind during those days maybe a bit considerate and also do you think a father can play a role in this like even educating his daughter at home or या किस तरह से थोड़ा सा होना चाहिए इसमें या it should or our society is not ready for that yet
that's a very difficult question जितने fathers को मैंने देखा है I would say that they are really not ready they still fathers I think in our society they're very focused on protecting a girl's sexuality they're always policing their bodies in different ways छोटे छोटे subtle तरीकों से all of that in an ideal environment yes the father should be able especially if the mother figure is not there the father should be able to step in and talk about menstruation again in a sensitive way educating his daughter about however much he can or फादर को इतना ओपन माइंडेड होना चाहिए कि अगर रमजान का महीना है एंड इफ शी इज नॉट कमिंग इफ शी इज नॉट फास्टिंग देन he should not be the kind of figure where one has to around which one has to pretend कि I am fasting you should have that kind of demeanor कि it should be okay to be a normal woman around you that's just
so Faiza also about sanitary pads do you think that sanitary pads are made in a sustainable way? Are they environment friendly, or like, what do you think about sanitary pads?
नहीं बिल्कुल sanitary pads are the manufacturing process I cannot comment about because I don't have knowledge कि वो manufacturing उसकी sustainable तरीके से करते हैं या नहीं, but I know कि उसका use जो है वो अक्सर sustainable नहीं होता है because it's synthetic. Much of it is almost plastic. तो उसको personally I would use sanitary pads, but इसका downside ये है कि इसको dispose जब आप करते हैं, so it doesn't, plastic is not biodegradable, and a lot of these sanitary napkins are not biodegradable, so they do contribute to pollution of different kinds. There are some in the market. There are some, especially in countries abroad, there are biodegradable napkins that are available. मुझे ये सही नहीं पता कि पाकिस्तान में ये available हैं या नहीं. But yes, अगर आप sanitary pads use करिए, so you have to keep that in mind कि it might not be sustainable. If you have a way of recycling it in some way, you should definitely look into that. But yeah, it's a very important con. जब आप choose कर रही हो कि आप कपड़ा use करें या sanitary pad use करें, so you should keep in mind कि उसको use करने का ये downside है.
And also there are these reusable pads as well, which is like which is kind of like a cloth pad, but it's not.
जी बिल्कुल. Actually अब जो नया option एक है, नया नहीं है, it's been very old, but it's being popularized in Pakistan, is the use of menstrual cups, which you can use many times. एक taboo उसके around भी है हमारी society में कि inserting something is just like it. What does it mean? Is the woman a virgin or not? Things like that. It's very illogical. हालांकि it's untrue. It doesn't affect you in that way at all. The other thing is I mean. Tampons भी होते हैं मगर वो भी उनका भी ये same मसला होता है because उन्हें भी dispose. But I do want to know that from my knowledge, it does not affect your virginity. आपके वो hymen तक वो नहीं पहुंचता, and it's not going to have that kind of change on you if you're worried about
great.
that.
And Faiza, I guess we should conclude our session. Do you have any message for young girls and mothers out there?
Not really. I just like I have repeated this many times. A dignified conversation on menstruation is very important. Sexualize mat kare. Social cultural issue hai. Talk about it in a respectable way.
Yeah, and then every young girl have access to internet. They can just look up like किस तरह से care करना है, किस तरह से अपने hygiene का ख्याल रखना है. And also we miss this thing that कि अगर कोई भी उनको unusual वो लगता है कि उनको infections वगैरह हो रही है, they should not hesitate to go to a gynecologist and get yourself checked up, because एक तो ये भी हमारे इधर ज़्यादा है कि unmarried जो लड़कियां हैं या ख़वातीन हैं, they really hesitate to go to. What would you like to tell them, to those girls?
Actually, instead of telling anything to the girls, I would like to say something to the doctors. I would like them to know that please just be a doctor. Just be sensitive, be medical ethics अगर आप practice कर रहे हैं या कर रही हैं, you should not care who comes to your to your hospital or your clinic, चाहे वो एक लड़की हो, if she is like a 15-year-old school going teenager, or I don't know, if she is a prostitute, whoever it is, if she's coming to you for any kind of care, you're supposed to give them care. और आपने सही कहा कि gynecologist के पास एक तो मसला ये कि gynecology को जो है वो pregnancy के मामले से associate किया जाता है. There are so many things that happen to a woman's body than pregnancy. Pregnancy पर discussion बहुत आसान है. Pregnancy के अलावा जो reproductive health मसले हैं, उन पे जो है वो किसी को समझ में नहीं आता कि वो क्या है. Reproduction जो है वो सिर्फ pregnancy से related नहीं है. Reproduction is also menstruation. Reproduction is so many other things. Hormonal balances हमारे body में हर वक्त reproductive हॉर्मोन्स होते हैं जिनका जो एक बहुत डेलिकेट सिस्टम है, उसको बैलेंस करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. स्ट्रेस की वजह से वो चेंज होते हैं, डाइट की वजह से वो चेंज होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से अनमैरिड या सेक्सुअली इनएक्टिव औरतों को भी गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाना पड़ता है, और ये बात समझ में नहीं आती किसी को. अगर आप If you are not a gynecologist, if you need to go to one, just go. Don't care. Prioritize your health. Just go. Have that courage to just prioritize your own well-being.
Thank you, Faiza, for taking out time to discuss this important topic with
My
us
pleasure.
today. Thank you.